Okay, I think I'm recording. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Kopcha, and I just wanted to give a quick introduction to the course Edit 7200, which is titled Professional Learning Through Technology. I love this course. It was conceptualized as a way for teachers to engage in whatever professional learning they thought was of interest to them during the summer and set that up, but do it in a way where you're not only advancing your own skills, but you're learning about what it means um, to be thinking about teacher professional development through your own experiences with a bunch of online learning resources. We primarily cover three in this class: MOOCs, which are massively online open courses. If you've never been in one, I encourage you to try one in this class, even if you only get a couple hours in. They're really interesting. There's professional learning networks all over the place, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or otherwise. There are groups of teachers sharing all kinds of information and ideas with each other that I think, you know, learning more about what's out there and available is really important. And then finally, there's just tons of online courses where you can get a certificate or credentialed or something like that. Google, Microsoft. I know Little Bits is a pay for service, but they offer training on their Little Bits stuff connected to STEM. Code.org, Flipgrid has its own training and things like that. So it's an opportunity for you to pull a bunch of those together and try them out during the summer when you have time to do that, but also be learning about teacher professional development. All right. I'm going to send you a link, or I've sent you a link with it connects to the course schedule. And the course schedule is really where all the magic happens. I've set it up so it's like one-stop shopping. You can get to everything you need from the course schedule. I will put the course schedule in the ELC, which if I click on it here, if you go to the ELC, it'll end up being under content. I haven't quite set up the course shell yet, but it'll be really minimal. What I'm essentially going to use it for is to hold the course schedule and the syllabus. That's the first thing that it'll do. I'm back. That's the first thing it'll do. And it'll be for grading. That's where you'll submit assignments and I will score them and you'll see your grades in the grade book. And that's really a lot of what we're going to do. There will be some discussions. You'll see that coming up. But you can see we've got a pretty rapid schedule. The way I think about this course is that in a normal semester, there's anywhere from 14 to 16 sessions that we cover. And so I've broken this into 14 sessions. If we meet, when we meet, it will be on Thursdays in the evening. Okay, so you can see our first meeting will be on the 17th over here. And we'll do a course introduction and do an overview of the project. But I'm actually thinking of this Tuesday, the 15th, as a work session for you. And that's the pattern that I use to think about this course. That Tuesday's a work session. We don't meet on Tuesdays. If we do meet, it will be on a Thursday. And so for a little while, we're going to meet every Thursday, the first Thursday and the second Thursday. And then you'll see you'll start to get breaks. Like I try and just make it asynchronous through the 4th of July holiday. And then we don't meet again until the 15th here. And then we meet one more time for the last class. And in some cases, we've even skipped the last class depending upon how things are going. What you'll want to do as you're reading through the syllabus, because it is partially asynchronous sometimes, and then we do meet, look at the topic first. It'll tell you whether we have a work session or if we're meeting. If it doesn't say work session, we're meeting. And then at home, for example, I want you to read the syllabus, look at the schedule, make sure you understand them. And I'm directing you to look over a PowerPoint from Georgia about what you should be doing, what Georgia thinks you should be doing for professional development. All right, just want you to be familiar with that. As the course goes on, and if you want to get a head start, go right ahead. Project one is, we've got some clever names: Babble, Dabble, Dig In, and something else for the last one. But the first thing you're going to do is actually a series of readings. I want you to read about what good professional development ought to be and how it relates to adult learning theory. And you might be thinking, what do those two things have to do with each other? They have a lot to do with each other. I'm emphasizing adult learning theory because it is something that the Georgia PSC requires in their standards. And what you're going to find out is that adult learners want the things that good professional development, research-based professional development says you ought to be doing. And there is some alignment there. And that's where we're going to start the course. You're going to submit, you'll see project one is like a reflection where you pull that stuff together yourself. Then you're going to begin project two. That's where we start dabbling with online PD tools. You're going to go and explore MOOCs, online learning, like self-directed learning courses like Google and that sort of thing, and look for some PLNs. And you're just going to come up with some examples. And the whole point now is you know what good professional development is. You've read about it. You know 6 or so resources out there that might interest you that you could try. And what we're going to do is we're going to start moving towards specialty. You're going to dig into one of those resources for project 3. You're going to explain to me why, in theory, it should help you learn or someone else learn, a teacher learn, and then you're going to do a little bit of it. Finally, we're going to get to project 4, and I still have some kinks to work out here, but if you're a master's student taking 7,200, you are going to create an individualized learning plan for yourself and do about 10 hours of that work this summer. And you're going to log your hours, you're going to talk about what you learned and all that stuff. If you're an EDS student, or if you're taking 9,200, which the two kind of go together, you're actually going to do a little bit different task where you're going to plan a professional development for teachers that blends in MOOCs, online learning like Google Training, and or develops a PLN somehow or contributes to a PLN somehow. So you're all going to be learning about these 3 things, and then we're going to differentiate at the end so that more advanced students in the EDS are actually planning for a group of teachers other than themselves. If you're a master's student, you can focus on yourself. Of course, if you're a master's student and you want to plan for other teachers, you're welcome to follow that path. I would never hold that against you. But you also have the option to focus just on you, which is a really powerful experience, okay? So yeah, have a look at this. It's pretty self-explanatory. When you click on any of these projects, like this guy, it'll take you to, and this should say project, not level. All right. And when you look at these, it'll explain to you what's the goal, what's my task. If you're an EDS student, what should you be doing? How does it differentiate between MED and EDS? And that sort of thing, okay? So you can see all of the what you're going to do, how you'll be evaluated. There's even an example whenever I can provide one. There's resources. So it really is set up as a course that could be very self-directed. And then we'll be dropping in to talk and pull things together, and I'll guide some of those discussions. Again, a lot of times we find we don't even need all the meetings that we have, but let's plan on having at least a couple. You know, an initial meeting and maybe one more to get you launched and started. You have a lot of time to do your work here. We meet again around the 15th to make sure you're doing okay on your final project. You'll be at your final project by then. And then last class, all right? Okay, email me with any questions. We will meet on the first Thursday, but this will help launch you and get you started so that you can start your work on project 1 and then some of the other stuff I've asked you to do prior to that first class meeting. The last thing is there's no required textbook. You can see I don't have one up here, so this is about you finding resources and really working them hard, whatever's available online. All right, I hope you're looking forward to the class. I love teaching it. I've taught it a few times now, and it tends to work really well. So, okay, have a good one.